We're from the Erasmus Plus project, AMOR, Ancient Heritage Meets Modern Researchers. We're here in Tavira, Portugal. It's November of 2018, and we're about to interview our Portuguese partners about two World Heritage elements, the Mediterranean diet and fado. I'm Dina from Greece.
And I am Teresa from Germany.
And here are
Lourenço from Portugal.
And Marcia from Portugal.
They're here to answer our questions about the Mediterranean diet. The first thing we would be really interested to know is which are the basic elements of the Mediterranean diet.
The basic elements of the Mediterranean diet are nuts, legumes, vegetables, fruits, olive oil, yogurt, fish, seafoods, potatoes, cheese, and some wine, but in moderation.
I noticed that you only mentioned food, but a lot of people say that the Mediterranean diet is not just about eating, it's a way of life. How would you think that's true?
Yes, it's true, because the Mediterranean diet is not only about food, it's about the way we cooking, we eating, and we share with the people we love.
We are really interested if you know anything about the origins of the Mediterranean diet.
Yes, the Mediterranean diet is about 3,000 years old and has origins from all over the Mediterranean, like Portugal, Spain, Italy, Croatia, Greece, Cyprus, and Morocco. And this transmitted us from our generations to generations. This way can arrive to the future, I think.
Ask it again. Could you let us know which kind of traditional food do young people in Portugal prefer and why?
Some examples of traditional food that young people like are, for example, bacalhau à Brás. It is made with codfish mixed with onion and fried potato. It tastes really good. And another example is arroz doce, sweet rice. This is really good too.
The first part of our interview happened inside the Mediterranean Diet Museum, and now we are outside and in front of the building. Our next question we have is, how far is the Mediterranean diet part of everyday life? Please give us some examples.
Even we don't want, the Mediterranean diet is present in our life. For example, even we don't like some vegetables, our parents, they find a way to put them in our soup.
Could you share with us where did you get your knowledge about the Mediterranean diet from?
Since we were in the basic school, the teachers told us about story and some facts about Mediterranean diet, and we had to do some draws about the elements of Mediterranean diets, and we did some visits to the museum.
Thank you, that was very interesting. Now let's go back in the museum.
Let's move on to the next question. Which are the most typical Portuguese dishes?
We have many typical dishes, like carne à portuguesa is a little squares of pork meat with fried chickens and clams, and we have many ways of cooking codfish, bacalhau in Portuguese. It's very typical too. And we have many sweets. Part of our sweets arrive us to the nunneries, because the nuns use the white part of the eggs to scratch the clothes, and the yellow parts of the eggs to do sweets. And we have a typical sweet that comes from the nunneries that we call Dom Rodrigo. It's from Tavira.
Could you tell us which spices and herbs are mostly used in the Portuguese cuisine?
Our cuisine is rich in spices and herbs. We have oregano, parsley, corianders, chili peppers, and salt, and many other things. But I will refer salt because we have salt pans and many production of salt in Tavira.
And last but not least, the 16th of November is the European Day of the Mediterranean Diet. Which is the message that you would like to send to the world this day?
The message that I would like to send to the world is to preserve this way of life because this is a healthy way of life.
And what's a healthy way of life?
I can explain you. Are you watching this pyramid, this picture? We should practice more sports and eat a lot of vegetables and fruits and just a little bit of sugar and sweets.
So, if we forget all these old habits, we are forgetting who made what we are now. So it is really important in name of our ancestors to preserve this way of life, Mediterranean diet.
Thank you so much for staying here with us and answering our questions. It was so nice to meet you.
Thank you, or how we call in Portuguese, obrigado.
Thank you.
Could you tell us how can the Mediterranean diet lead to sustainable regional development?
Mediterranean diets lead to sustainable regional development because we eat what we produce and there is no waste of foods. And at the same time, we are helping the local economy growing.
What do you think? In which way is the Mediterranean diet interesting for tourism?
I think it is interesting for the tourism because the foreigners come to our countries not because just the weather or the climate, but also because of our traditional food. And we have a fair every year where we can show our food, our culture, and our traditions.